Hello, good afternoon. It is Club Call. Apologies for being late. People were playing games, but not with my heart.
Because you would have told us to quit.
Yeah. How are you, Ned?
Fine, how are you?
Yeah, you all right?
Yes,
Yeah.
It's
Good,
like that.
good.
Looking
man.
good there.
You are looking good, Ned.
I do love this new frame, which allows people to see me better.
You're looking good.
Thank you.
Why have you come as John Cena though?
I just like the cap, and I like the shirt, and I like the shorts.
Yeah.
And I like the armbands and the belt. Well, the belt is I won the belt.
People are saying they can't see it. I don't quite get it.
Because it's John Cena.
People can't.
see me.
Are you winding me up?
Pass went straight to the punchline.
That's it, though.
I'm literally moving.
Because people will start getting a bit upset.
You just went straight to the punchline.
I've just killed it because... You know why? Because there's too much leg on the show.
You can sit down now, Ned. It's all right. The joke's over.
There's too much
the
leg.
joke's done.
Here he is.
Windy.
He's back. John Cena is in the house.
You can't see him though.
He goes,
Exactly.
Don't do that.
I'm not because my hair's awful.
Your hair's always awful though.
No, but it's
Where's this idea that
I
like
don't
you're like?
It's cutting
Why
again.
today is he chose to acknowledge it?
No, my hair is normally nice.
Can I ask you something? Do you feel like you're on countdown? These our new chairs. I feel like I'm the king of the world. It's amazing,
I'm the
dude.
host of a show.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're the host of a show.
You're a hoe of a show. How do you like them apples?
Oh, fine.
Okay.
Just saying.
Yeah.
So
It is club call.
It is club call. So if you want to give us a call, this is the club to do it on.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Absolutely. We're accepting phone calls right now. We are. So, well, I mean, not literal phone calls. We had a bit of a misunderstanding the last couple of weeks. People sending us their phone numbers.
Really?
On email, saying
Yeah.
ring me.
Saying, ring me.
Five.
Bell me, lad. Won't bell me.
Me, lad.
I'll bell you back.
Give him a bell, lad.
But we got it sorted in the end.
That's good.
And people give us calls. So
Okay.
lots of comments straight away on Paul Holmes. Paul Holmes passed away today, sadly. If anyone didn't get to see, we spoke about this earlier, but if anyone didn't get to see Paul Holmes play, he played around 92 to 94, was it?
93 to 95.
Yeah, there you go. Slightly off by one.
Sure.
Howard Kendall signed him.
He did.
Joe Royle sold him. It was a right back. Was not someone obviously played every week, but obviously come in, played a few games. Great crosser of the ball. Like you may have heard me and Baz talk about before. Honestly, one of the best players I've seen cross a ball for Everton. He could dig a cross out and stand it up. So, and it's very, very sad that he's passed away at such a young age. Sadly, he had cancer and passed away in a hospice. I know he was a great bit of a cult player for Torquay, I think. And he was very much a lower league kind of player. I think he left us and went to West Brom on loan, and but he played. Listen, he played in a Merseyside derby, didn't he? And one that we won. Sorry, when McManaman and Grobbelaar were fighting, he played right back that day, and was part of obviously the squad that stayed up in 93, 94. Started was part of the squad in the early part of the season when we the 94, 95 season. But obviously, as the team improved, other players come in, and Matt Jackson was there, and Earl Barrett, and they were obviously the players that Joe Royle would want to have in the team. So just really sad that he's passed away at such a young age. Obviously, you talk about players when 70s and 80s, Jimmy Husband recently, and those players who were more of our dad's generation, aren't they? So it's really sad that someone has passed away that we actually seen playing for Everton. And it's been taken obviously far too early. So R.I.P. Paul Holmes. Very, very, very sad. And if anyone ever remembers or sees the clips from when we played Spurs away, the crosses were just absolutely brilliant. Played in a very large shirt as well, as I remember. He did. So very, very sad. So lots of...
His last game was the Feyenoord Cup Cup game, Goodison. Last appearance for Everton.
0-0.
Yep. So made his debut against Ipswich, I think, in 93.
And if anyone was at the game against Bolton, which was Mike Walker's first game, we drew 1-1 the FA Cup. He was the player who smashed the ball against his own crossbar that led to their goal. So yeah, just very sad, very sad.
Yeah, it's awful news.
Yeah, so just give us a call. Then the link is at the top. Last couple of weeks we've had lots of people giving us a call, which is good. Degsy, if you're watching, we'd love you to give us a call. A lot of people asking where you are. I know where you are because I've seen you've been out and about in Liverpool. Very, very annoyed that there was no toilets on the new trains. Degsy, maybe come on, give us a review of that train and your little jaunt into the city centre. Love to hear from you because you haven't been on for a few weeks and people were getting a little bit worried about you.
Big Degs. Big Degs.
Big Degs. Or just come on and ask Baz how his holiday was. And what was your favourite ride? We haven't even spoken about this.
Guardians of the Galaxy, I think.
Nice.
Velocicoaster was good. That was good.
Has a lot changed since you were last there?
Yeah, I mean, there was about 8 or 9 new things. 5 years in it since I was last there, so not loads, but there was enough new stuff. Yeah, it was great, and obviously Everton won games as well, which made it even better, made it even sweeter.
Didn't watch any of the games, though, did you?
No, watched bits of games, but didn't sit down and watch games. So
play.
It was good. It was good to have a little break and not jinx anything.
Absolutely.
Watched the first half of Forest. I think that was the most unbroken coverage. But we got the job done, didn't we? Watched obviously the end of Luton, which was one we didn't win, but we didn't lose, so it was good.
Absolutely.
It was all good.
Good. Someone in the comments then talking about John Blain was on Sky Sport. When was John on Sky Sport?
5 o'clock.
Was he? That's why we came on a bit later, just so you could all watch it. Obviously with his Everton Shareholders Association cap on, not his Toffee TV cap on, because he has to juggle those two things. But yeah, we obviously never saw it, but good. The message is getting out there, isn't it? The message has been loud and clear in the last couple of days. First it was the shareholders, now it's the FAB. People want action. And the action has started, I suppose, in the right places, in the upper echelons of the fan base, if you will. You know, the Shareholders Association, with obviously everyone who's in that owns a share, so owns part of the football club. And obviously the FAB, which is being put in as the de facto shadow board, whatever you want to call it. Just, again, people who are supposed to talk to the club at the highest levels and have meetings with them. And obviously Jazz, when he was there, would talk to Farhad Moshiri himself in that interview, that famous interview. So that's a good place to start. You know, seeing a lot of people in the last couple of days talking about situations and protests and all, but it's good that it started that, because that's already raised headlines, newspapers, Sky Sports, radio, just all different kinds of media. And I think what happens is when fans make their voices heard, it will lead to, we saw this with the actual protests in the last 2 years, 18 months, when people start to speak out, the media know there's a story then. Otherwise, sometimes the media can have a story and go, well, this is not going anywhere because it's not getting any traction. For us fans, we've been concentrating on the team, haven't we? Ultimately, been waiting for the team to get safe. And now it is. I think now the pressure has to be put on, because what we're saying is, I think what we're saying is, something needs to happen. This can't go on any longer. Forget, you know, it's not even about corners, what corner you're in or what you think's the best for Everton. Something has to happen, because otherwise we're in a situation where we've got a Mexican standoff. We've got Moshiri, 777, the other people who've got money in the club. And it's just a big standoff at the moment. And obviously the Premier League as well, really. You've got this situation where it's just one of them's waiting for the first one, or as John said, the last one to make a move. And until something happens, we're just going to be sitting here, and the summer is fast approaching. And this is going to be a huge summer for Everton Football Club. Big decisions need to be made about who we sell, about who we buy, about who we give new contracts to. Lots needs to be done, and that starts Well, it should have started months ago, really. And Everton need to get something going, otherwise next season's going to be more turbulent.
Absolutely. I mean, there's players, 7, 8 players could leave this summer out of contract and other things, and you have to have the processes in place. This squad's already small. The manager said that a few times this season. When you had those 7 or 8 players leaving, you're talking at least 8 coming in just to get it back to the level that it's at, that he thinks is too small. So realistically, Everton need to bring in 10 players in the summer.
Yeah.
That seems highly unlikely, but they may well have to, and half of them may be free transfers and stuff or whatever, but that's just to get the squad to a level that he thinks can compete, and you can't do anything like that if everything is up in the air, and everything is up in the air. So this process cannot just be allowed to carry on the way it's been going. It's been dragging on for 8 months now, which is just crazy. So it's got to be brought to a head, and it's good that obviously we had the Shareholders Association statement yesterday, and we've had the Fan Advisory Board statement today, and I know the Echo have done it. It's all on the front page of the Echo. John, as you've just said, it's just been on Sky Sports News as well. Other people have got to pick it up. It's got to be brought to a head. And hopefully Farhad Moshiri will do the right thing and, at least speak. Wouldn't he? At least speak to the fans and give them the answer.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? I mean, it has been said today or this morning that Farhad Moshiri's met with 777 again, but what a coincidence. We don't need, it's not what we need. What we need is the fella to sit down in front of someone and speak about what is going on and what is the plan. And because I think now they've had enough time. This is just, you're talking about an entire football season to get something sorted out. There has to be.
Ned, can you hear me?
There has to be a timeline on this, doesn't it? There has to be a timeline, because otherwise, if they haven't passed by now, they're never going to pass. What if they can't? If they haven't satisfied them so far, they're never going to satisfy the Premier League. And I'm sorry, but some of the stories coming out about them from other football clubs, Standard Liège today, it makes for grim reading. It really does make for grim reading. The Liège one, Standard Liège, is basically saying that there's no money. They've emptied the banks and they're not talking, or emptied the account, sorry, and they're not talking to them. They've lost contact with them. This can't carry on. This really can't carry on. Who have we got?
John
Blain.
John Blain.
John Blain. Sky Sports is John Blain.
John Blain from Florida.
From Florida.
The Florida version of
Orlando Blain. What a name that would be. That would be his film star name. Could be. Orlando Blain.
That's what he should be when he's on the TV. It's Orlando Blain.
Yeah.
Would be good. Would be very good.
Put him on then.
Is he here?
Hello,
we
John.
Can't hear him.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah,
we can hear you now. Hello, John. How are you?
I can't see anything. I can just see some guy who I don't recognise, but if he's watching the channel, he'll smile now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's smiling. Thank you.
Can you
How
see
are you,
us?
boys?
Can you see us now?
Yeah, okay,
No.
John.
No, can't see you guys at all.
But you can't see Ned.
Yeah. You don't
Can't
want
see
to.
anyone,
You
does
don't
it?
want to see Ned the clothes he's wearing today.
Why can't he see us, Ned?
I've got the camera on Black Magic.
Oh,
You're
okay.
there. Oh,
Okay.
I can't see you.
Well, I'm in this ninja thing, and there's just me and the guy, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Anyway, John, you've just been on Sky Sports News. So, what was that regarding the takeover, obviously, and what's your standpoint on where we are right now?
yeah, I mean, Sky's angle at the moment is obviously they've picked up the fan advisory statement from this morning, fundamentally, with the angle being let somebody else have a go at trying to buy this football club. Yeah. And that was basically what they wanted to talk about. And of course, the Shareholders Association, and I hope my colleagues don't mind, I said we're in support of that, which of course we are. We at the association did our statement yesterday, which said fundamentally enough is enough. And we demand a decision, and we demand it now. And I'm with you, Ped. It may be just coincidental that people are actually sitting around a table talking about these things. But I think clearly, the time had come to recognise that 777 partners at this time, which is the shareholders' official view, are not appropriate owners of the football club. And therefore, we have to know as fans and as shareholders what happens next. And what happens next clearly has to include looking at alternative bids, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
If there is any.
Well, we have to create that. We have to create that scenario at least, don't we, John?
Well, we do, and I don't know whether I've said this on channel before, but it's probably in the minutes on the Shareholders Association website, which is efcsa.org. But we challenged sounds horrible, isn't it? We asked Colin, the chief exec, a couple of meetings in succession what was going on with alternative bidders, particularly when all this noise was going on around the faceless anonymous people who are all waiting in the wings and that sort of stuff. And there's a substantial organisation in North America who've got the ones who've got closest, and in the sense of they've at least engaged with the club and or Farhad. But that's the only one that I'm aware of that has got anywhere near being visible. And even they are clearly not being particularly public. And they are the same kind of company as MSP and 777 in the sense that they're venture capitalist types, but substantially larger, maybe 10, 15, 20 times larger or more than 777, for example. So, they'd be really credible, I think, if they came out and were, announced in some way. But they're not that interested in their past in sport, but they are interested, like all of these guys, in making money. And clearly, Everton Football Club is a great opportunity to make money because we do have a huge amount of potential. And if we can just get past this little wobbly road bit that we're on at the moment, then as I said to you for the first time, I think it was you, Baz, just before you went on holiday, the promised land is quite close. It's just over there. It's just that there's a big pile of water and fire and all that sort of stuff that we have to fight our way through to get to it. But let's just keep the faith because so tomorrow does come. Sometimes it's slow in coming, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we need this resolved right now, don't we? Let's be honest with you. It's just going on, dragging on and on and on. Then it's good for nobody because we just keep going. Weeks just keep flying by, and they have been flying by, haven't they? Don't forget, this was. I know it's not set in stone, but this was thought to be a 12-week process, really. We thought December time we'd hear one way. Well, we thought they'd be approved, didn't we, that early? And here we are in May with no resolution to it. So it just needs to be needs to be ended.
Yeah. It is mad, and of course we got a bit of an indication that to some degree this isn't happening by accident, is it? And I think we talked about it on the channel previously, which was when the FAB demanded to meet with Farhad Moshiri, and he said third week in May. We've talked about how he doesn't want to go to that meeting, does he? And say, well, actually, tomorrow. So he needs something definitive, and that's why the association talked about, now is the moment. It's not next week, the week after, and therefore Sky, part of their intro to the interview I did with them on Sky Sports News was just that Farhad Moshiri has set a deadline apparently of before the last game of the season. Yeah,
nice.
Which means before the Arsenal game. Whenever, I don't mean whenever that is because I know where it is in the calendar, but whatever that means, because it would be really interesting to see if Farhad's got the testicular fortitude to turn up for the Sheffield game, and be in the stadium, and let's see what happens. But clearly he has told, Colin Chong told us at the association that if the 777 thing didn't happen, then the working capital needs will be funded by him. Yeah. Right. So, and if you remember when he was, I don't know whether he was interviewed by the FAB, he said something like about the stadium. He said, I could fund it myself if I had to. Yeah.
Mm.
So he's maybe not quite on his uppers like everyone thinks, and he's just been happily spending somebody else's money, which is not a bad thing. I would always advocate spending someone else's money before you spend your own. But not in this way. That causes all this angst to the rest of us. You know what I mean? So difficult times, but I think when we get the other side of it, we'll be in a better place.
That's it, isn't it? We have almost got to just get to the other side of it, and then once we're there, we can start making plans, because obviously we should really be planning for next season. Because without.
No, I agree. Yeah.
That's the problem, isn't it? Is that it goes quickly. And, everybody else is planning for next season, and we're kind of just in the in the eye of the storm right now, aren't we? Where we've had, is there more turbulence to come? Well, hopefully there isn't, but we just need that resolution right now.
No, I think you're right. I should finish, Baz, because I think you've got people in the queue. But
okay.
Probably the guy who's here before me, which isn't fair, but never mind. I've used it now. But I think, and that's where Mashiri's quite right to saying it needs to be sorted before the end of the season, because whilst all the plans can be put in place by Kevin Thelwell and Sean and what have you, you do need a functioning board to make decisions, particularly if you're buying players or giving them new contracts and those sorts of things. Clearly, a lack of decision on players who are out of contract just means they walk away, which again is not financially good if we can avoid that. So let's see if they can walk that talk on resolving this fundamentally this week or early next week, and then we're all in a place where we know what's going on. And restructuring the debt was always going to be an activity that needed to be done. It was just a matter of who was doing it. And that's where the Deloitte thing will have come into play, I reckon, of talking to those guys and others about not just finding investors, but also in finding, a way through the debt challenges, because it's a bit punitive at the moment, isn't it? So,
yeah.
Anyway, guys, it's really sunny, and the pool is really nice, Baz. So
so
it's
the pool's calling you.
It's not all bad.
Yeah.
Well, no, not so much, but it's not all bad.
To be honest, it's sunny here today, John. It's not bad. It's quite pleasant. It's not Orlando.
Just haven't got a pool, though.
It's not Orlando Pleasant, and there's no pool.
Yeah,
but it is. It's not bad today, to be fair. But
I heard you briefly earlier on talking about my house and stuff, and if we want to do it for Premier members only, of course.
Of course.
Then I'm more than happy to let them have a couple of weeks in my house on the same terms you got, Baz, which was close to nothing in real terms, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
very good.
Not literally nothing, because I'm not funding your lecky bill for you guys, but the rest of it, I'm happy. And despite what you said, Baz, there's plenty of dates that people will be able to choose if indeed we choose to run a competition or something.
Okay.
This guy who's on screen now, who's been very, very patient waiting me to STFU, maybe he should be first in line. So I'll leave it with you.
Nice one, John.
All right, John. Nice one, mate. Enjoy.
I'll do my best. Take care, guys.
Take care, John. Ta-ra, mate. Ta-ra.
There you go. You heard it here first.
Mr. Blain from his villa in Orlando. We need it resolved immediately, really. And draw a line, and hopefully there is a big list of people who want to step into the breach and take it and make it better. Fingers crossed.
I've always thought there'll be people, but it's a case of you've got to clear some of the mess out, haven't you, first? It's like anything in life. If you want to buy a nice new house or a nice house, and you look at it and it's shabby and it's full of, it's got to be in the right position for someone. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it's in the right position now in many ways, but don't know. Till we get this bit sorted, this standoff, then we probably won't know. Probably no one's going to come forward. So, right, we've got Rich. Go for it. Hello, Rich.
Hi, guys. Excuse me, sorry.
Go on.
Frog in the throat there, waiting for Sky Sports John Blain to...
That's, Orlando Blain, we like to call him here.
No, I mean, it's important, I think, to hear from somebody like John who knows what he's talking about, because it kind of, I don't know, really, it's kind of taken the shine off a little bit for me. That staying up, obviously staying up with games to spare and all of that. It's, I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit kind of, a bit pessimistic about it, but I guess we're all in the same place, aren't we? We all want it sorting. We all need it sorting. The club needs it sorting, because how many players have we got that need sorting out in our own squad now with contracts? Is it?
There's quite a few. I mean,
Yeah.
quite a few. I mean, Gomez could walk out for nothing. James Coleman.
Yeah.
Ashley Young, they need to sort out. You've got Jessica Gay. You've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, whose contract needs sorting out.
Decore, he's got a year left. There's loads.
Yeah. So I mean, things have got to start happening, because with the squad, I mean, because otherwise, we could be really scrambling, come July, August. And it's a shame John's still not on, actually, because I was thinking, how, if there are other buyers, potential buyers, how quickly could they be in place, or how quickly could something, start to happen? And we could be pretty certain that somebody would be taken over at some stage quite soon. I don't know what the answer to that is. I don't know whether you have any ideas about that, or any insight into that.
Well, we'd find out, Rich, wouldn't we, quite quickly how tough the Premier League are on new owners. We'd sort of get it. We'd sort of find out, wouldn't we, what 777 have, sort of what they've gone through in terms of if someone else come in and they got it within 12 weeks, which it is supposed to be 12 weeks. Let's not forget that. Yeah. So if they did get it in 12 weeks, then I think that would put a little bit of context on what has happened with 777. Very much, we'd understand then, because we don't really have any context to this, because a lot of, I suppose, when a new owner comes in, it's like the Jim Ratcliffe situation, isn't it? Like, for a lot of people, that just happened overnight, but I imagine that didn't happen overnight. I imagine that took longer than
6 months.
Well, that's it. That's it. And that's obviously a lot shorter than 777, but that's a minority thing. So we'll have to, we'd have to wait and see. If someone did come in and wanted to buy us and other people, then we would have to wait again. And would they do what 777 have done, which is pay bills? And if they didn't, would Mashiri pay those bills? Because if someone would have to pay the bills, wouldn't he, at the end of the day? And is Mashiri not paying the bills because 777 are paying the bills? Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Because those bills have to be paid. Everton is still earning money. I know we have to pay a lot of debt, but we're still earning money. We still have TV deals, we still have merchandise deals, we still have all the deals were coming in. So where's that money gone? Is that money supplementing it? You know what I mean? There are so many questions to ask with this 777 deal. It's like, anything they're giving us, where's it going? Where is that money truly going? Is it going to the stadium? Is it going to payroll? Where's it truly going? All these questions are up in the air, and I don't think anyone actually knows. I think we can all guess, but I don't think we actually all know what the situation is in terms of that money 777 have given us. And what will happen if they do have to pull away? Me and John spoke about this last week. Do they convert that into equity no matter what happens and get like a 30% stake in? You look one step away from having a cat on your lap there, Baz. So yeah, there's loads of questions to ask, Rich.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's like I think you were saying, a few minutes ago. The big problem for us is that we don't have any kind of answers coming out of the club or from the owner. We're all in the dark. I mean, we're here talking about it, and we don't really know. We don't really know what the answers are, and that's not good for us. It's not good for the club. It's not good for anybody. And there's not only silence from the club, there's silence from the Premier League as well. I saw in the, I think it was in the shareholders' statement yesterday, that that they were quite critical of the Premier League as well as the owner and as well as the club, and what I want is, as a fan, is to have some idea of what's going on, because I haven't got any idea of what's going on. I want to have some confidence that somebody is actually kind of moving something forward, and I want to have some confidence that somebody somewhere is actually running the club right now, because as we've said, there are live issues that need sorting out with the squad and with for next season.
Absolutely.
Because I would like to enjoy the last couple of games of the season, really. I don't know whether I will enjoy the Arsenal game, but I mean, I would like to just be able to enjoy not having anything riding on the last couple of games. I would like to think that, we could have a good time. I'm sure we will have a good time, but you know what I mean? I would just to think that we could look forward, for once. We're actually where we want to be in terms of safety. We're not cacking ourselves on the last day. We should be able to really enjoy these last couple of weeks, and we're kind of being sucked into this whole kind of what is going on.
No, you should definitely be able to enjoy it. Just enjoy that. I know it is a worrying period, but I'm honestly going to enjoy Saturday, and I'm going to enjoy the last couple of weeks of the season, and then we can maybe then have a couple of weeks off in terms of just switching off for because there's no football, so hopefully everyone will switch off and then come back to it at a later. I mean, we can't obviously, but come back to it at a sort of later date when we have to sort of start worrying about it, and hopefully in that meantime things will pick up a little bit and we'll try and get a few answers. I think that's the most important thing. We can't switch off to it totally because it's our football club and we need to know what's going on. And we should apply a little bit of pressure as well. That's important as well. But I think definitely don't let it take away from a couple of games that we've got nothing riding on us, and certainly on Saturday going to Goodison, I think we should all enjoy it, because we've all worked hard for the last game of the season that there's nothing going on it. I think we've all worked hard for that in all different ways. So certainly enjoy it.
Yeah, no. I mean, you are right. Yeah, I mean, of course you're right. So on that, then, what's your prediction for Saturday?
7-0. No, seriously, 7-0. What are you laughing at?
The way you said it.
7-0.
1 second.
Yeah, 7-0. I was going to say 8, but then I thought I was being a bit optimistic.
4-1. 4.
We're not conceding. 7-0.
4-1. I think Everton are going to score some goals at the week.
I've heard Everton are asking for a special dispensation for them to play Mason Holgate.
4-1.
All right, 4-1. What about you, Rich?
5-0.
Go for it. Nah, I think we'll win 2-0.
1-0.
We don't score a lot of goals.
2-0 I'll go for.
1-0.
2-0. Fair play. Good man.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice one, Rich.
Yeah. Nice one. All
nice
right,
one.
fellas.
See you later.
Cheers.
Mate.
Take it easy.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Ta-ra, mate.
Bye.
Ta-ra. Michael Pellegrini says, gents love the content. Can you give me a shout? Overcome something that had been bothering me and got a hair transplant today. Showing as men we can feel okay about getting work done.
Don't feel bad about anything. If it makes you feel better and it helps your confidence or whatever, then do whatever you want. Get your hair done, get your teeth done, get whatever, get any kind of procedure.
No one's got any right to have a go at
If you
anybody.
feel better, if it's for you, get a bum lift. If it makes you feel better and it pushes you on and you feel more confident, then that leads to getting a better job and being able to take your family on nice holidays or get a nice house.
Happy. I mean, he says here, thanks for the support. Men's mental health matters.
Of course it does.
Was my mum's fourth year anniversary of her passing on April the 24th.
Honestly, people need to. We were talking about this yesterday, sort of, weren't we? We were talking about this about like young people now just going to do what they want. Not what they're supposed to do in terms of like, you must get a job 9 to 5. You must get a house. Ned, honestly, look at Ned. Look at him through that camera. He looks like he's on one of those videos where they're doing a sting on the end of the corner to catch a predator. I'm an entrepreneur. Not the predator. He's part of it. When you see a busy who's undercover and you just look at them going, you're trying way too hard to be undercover. That's what Ned looks like.
Yeah.
He looks like he's being...
I am an entrepreneur. I don't work stupid long...
Sorry. How are you an entrepreneur?
I don't work stupid long hours every week.
Yeah.
I've got a little, like few hour job in the week.
Yeah.
Where I get to not do anything in the mornings. I don't finish too late.
Yeah.
I don't finish late at all. And on the weekend, I go out and I sing, do whatever, gig wherever I want, gig whenever I want, do some little gigs. And through that, I'm earning as much as somebody would be, if not more, from a 9 to 5 silly 40-hour long shift job, which they'd be knackered and they probably hate. I'm just chilled. I've got time for another job if I want one.
But how does that make you an entrepreneur?
Because I'm got my own business.
Playing a guitar.
Yeah.
Don't entrepreneurs like it's good? It's good. No, but I don't like. No,
you're doing it.
What you're doing is what you want to do. And I'm all for that. But aren't like entrepreneurs people who are like expanding their business to give other people chances and grow businesses and buy businesses and sell businesses? And
I am.
You told us earlier.
I'm getting
hang on.
customers.
You told us earlier you didn't have enough money to buy your dinner.
Yeah, that was. No, not buy me dinner. So I just don't want to put me be wasting money on.
You told us that your dinner was leftovers from the fridge.
That doesn't mean I couldn't have. It's just there. That doesn't mean I couldn't afford to buy my own dinner. I just said I didn't like it.
No, I'm not accusing you of being like. What I'm accusing you of being is just tight.
There's a difference.
Yeah, I'm not like accusing you of being like. Not like, please, sir. You just basically made out like you didn't have any money, but really you were just.
I just don't want to spend the money I've got.
That's fine.
In me saving.
Do you want to hear the most predictable thing that ever happened? Burnley announces kit deal with Castori.
Fair play.
Can I pay tax? I pay a lot of tax, I'll have you know.
Who's saying this?
Somebody's calling me a tax dodger.
Oh.
No, of course it's a registered business. I pay tax and everything. Claim everything.
But back to Mr. Pellegrini. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do whatever makes you feel better.
Just put your eyes on Baz for a moment. Picture him before he left to go on holiday. He's got a bit more colour in his cheeks. He's certainly got more colour in his hair. That has been that's been established.
More relaxed.
He's had
tan.
What's that German shampoo called with the little bit of colour in it? You use a bit of that?
Alpercent.
Yeah.
I'm getting full jet.
I would.
I'm getting when my hair starts going, I'm getting the
Peter Reid.
Getting the full glued on, spiky or something.
Peter Reid, LR86.
Someone told me I shouldn't have gone on holiday before.
Why?
Because it was shown the team needed my support, but it was the same fella that keeps making the comments. He called me that Baz fella. Needs to be a bit more creative. There you go. So Michael, take no notice of anyone. Do whatever makes you feel good, mate. Because
honestly,
who cares about someone else? If they're not one of your best mates or they're not a family member, who cares what their opinion is?
Only you can change your life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, only you can change it for the better. And if you want to change things, then change them, whatever that is.
No one's got any right to tell anyone else what they should be doing. Yeah. Or what with their life. That's up to them. As long as they're not hurting people, then it's got nothing to do with anybody else, mate. So if it makes you happy, that means your family will benefit from that because you're happier. So therefore, that's great, mate. So I hope you feel good about yourself and all that. Take no notice. You live your life.
Exactly.
That's all that matters.
I stopped bevying, and there's such a culture in this country of like, I'll have a drink and all that. And it's like I've never felt better. Honestly, I've been sick the whole time that I've stopped drinking. but there's like a pressure. Oh, have a bevy, going out for a bevy, or a glass of wine.
I've felt that for years, mate.
You know what I mean?
It's like
it's
you've
like
got to have a pint. I'm like, why? I can have a cup of tea while you're having a pint. It won't bother. It won't make me have a worse time. But there is that culture, isn't it? And that culture results in different things. And
Ned, have we got anyone calling?
There is, but I don't know who it is. They're not going to put the name in the chat.
Put your name in the chat, or otherwise Ned will
you're not getting on.
put you through.
That's simple. That's simple. Event 75 Horizon UK says Mashiri should be speaking to us to at least reassure us of not going into administration.
Steve Kelly's got a great point, and I think this is firmly for you. Could James Garner make a late push for the Euros? No. What do you think he's lacking to make it into the England squad? Or is it just that he's lacking a Welsh passport?
He's not. You know, I don't think, without being disrespectful to him, I don't think he's quite at Jude Bellingham. And
no, just not at that, quite at that level, yeah. No.
He's only a young lad. He's got a,
Jude Bellingham younger than him.
He's got a lot of time.
Jude Bellingham younger than him.
I just said he's just got a lot of time, hasn't he? Got a lot of time.
Really, Ned? Really?
You put that there?
Really? Who have we got, Ned?
Abby.
Okay.
Oh, we've got Abby. Okay. Yeah. All right. Go on then, Ned.
Go ahead.
All right, guys.
Hello, Abby.
Hello, Abby. All right?
Yeah, not too bad. You, Baz?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
You all right, Ped?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks, thanks, yeah.
That's fine.
You all right? Yeah. Go on.
I'm not here.
It's the first. I think it's the first weekend, like the previous caller said, that I haven't been bothered about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I know we're going to likely to beat Sheffield United because they're the worst in the league, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's just now we're safe. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as much because we're safe.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't matter because ultimately you have a goal at the beginning of the season, and we have reached our goal. You know, the same way if Man City or Arsenal or whoever had already won the league, they're not really. What happens after that doesn't really matter. So we've achieved our goal, and sadly, our goal is quite pathetic. But we've achieved it, and we all want to win. We all want to win. Clearly, we all want to win on Saturday, to have a nice send off and get it. Hopefully, we can keep that place above Brentford for the extra £3.3 million, I believe it is, and the last day of the season will take care of itself.
Yeah, exactly. I think we'll beat them, but because we don't score that many goals, I think it's going to be close. You know, unfortunately, I think the way they've been lately, I can possibly see them scoring.
Yeah, but they scored at Newcastle and they scored at Old Trafford, didn't they? So
yeah,
they might. But then I think the difference is those teams play a lot more. Man United are crap, but they do play a lot more attacking football than we do. Our default setting is not to concede goals. So I don't know. I think we'll be rigid on Saturday, and then we're more likely to not score than concede. I always think.
Yeah.
So
I think we'll beat them up.
No, I think we'll beat them. I think we'll beat them 7-0.
That's what you went for. That's what you went for. I've got to have that one day when everything goes in.
You got to have a little bit of hope, haven't you? Got to.
They do give up a lot of chances.
Go on.
Yes, we do. We give up too many. On Paul Holmes, I watched him play at Torquay.
Okay.
Because I'm Torquay in my local team.
Yeah.
So I watched him play when Akinfenwa was playing with him in the late 90s.
Oh, okay.
So he was a decent player.
Yeah.
You know, nothing really special, but solid.
Yeah.
You know, and I was sad to hear the news. I know he had cancer, but 56 is no age.
No.
You know,
absolutely.
If I don't like to just take people from relegated teams.
Mm.
But unfortunately, where we are in financially, if we're going for UK-based players from UK-based teams, unless it's loans, affordability, unfortunately, is more likely to be players who haven't made it at an Arsenal or a Man United, or players who have been relegated and who may be out of contract. Out of the relegated clubs, are there any players that you would be happy to have at Everton? If
Go
it
on,
came
Vaz.
down to
Go on, Vaz. Say it. Go on. You know who you want to say.
Ross Barkley,
Yeah, there you go.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, no, I'd have Ross. I'd have Ross. I've also said all season that I like Adebayo.
Yeah.
I'd have had a bio before Ross.
Adebayo,
10
yeah.
goals this season.
He's done well, Adebayo.
I have seen us loosely linked with what's his name, Mengi from
Yeah, Luton.
the centre back
Mm.
from Luton. I think that's more because he's young and because that's the type of age group we're looking at now. But also looking at his stats for age group, he's not that far off the tackles per game and the passing range of Branthwaite. Obviously, he's not near. Luton aren't anywhere near us in how many clean sheets they've got. We've got a lot more, but that's because we've maybe got slightly better defenders, or you'd hope we have. I want us to try and go for some players abroad because there are enough players abroad from the Bundesliga or any of the other major leagues abroad that are in the right price range if we are buying, but also where we may be able to get a good bargain.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just...
Like the guy, the young lad from Freiburg, Merlin. I can't pronounce his surname, but he's a central midfielder. Although he can play everywhere in midfield, so he looks like he might be a decent option if we're going to go in the summer.
Yeah, there'll be loads of players like that out there who can come in and be same as squad player, because we're going to need squad players, aren't we? And we're definitely going to need squad players, and that's whether we look at the Championship or whether we look at players who've gone on low, who are going to get relegated, or whether we look at, again, the loan market. I think will be something Everton are going to have to look at heavily, aren't they, this summer? And obviously having the two that we've got, there'll be question marks over. I mean, Dan Juma's not going to come back, and Harrison might rely on what happens to Leeds. Who knows if Leeds don't come up, Everton maybe try and get him on loan again if that's possible. So that all those markets are going to have to be looked at. What we do know is that I think we all know we're not going to be after a £35 million player. I would imagine this summer, that kind of range. I would imagine we're going to look for. We're going to look more in those other markets, but there's plenty of value in them because you look at a team like. Look at a team like Crystal Palace. They've got a couple of really good players, but they've also got a lot of very, very average players, and they are comfortably mid-table. Fulham are they've got a sprinkling of good players, but they're very comfortable mid-table. So there are players out there, and there are, you just got to get them and create a good feel-good factor and have that base, a good defensive base. And if you have that, we need pace, don't we? That's the number one thing we need. We need pace and players who can run at the opposition. We don't have that at the moment. We're very one-paced all around the squad. So whoever does come in next season has to have that ability to get us up the pitch very, very quickly, because that's the thing we really, really struggle with. Everything just seems to take time. And when you're playing against teams now, they're so well coached and they're so well organised that if they can get their 5 men back before you can get your 5 men forward, you're in trouble, because it's very hard to break them down. So that's what we need. But there are players out there, but also you need that strategy to know how to get them. And at the moment, do we have a strategy? Because the club is just in the position it's in at the moment.
Can we have a strategy when we've got no board?
Well, that's up to the director of football and the manager, isn't it? They should be able to...
I mean, I guess they're trying, but at the end of the day, with not knowing where the club's going to be, and who's going to be owning it, and where the money's coming from.
No, but I think, as John Blain would probably say this, it shouldn't rely on those people.
No, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't. That's
right.
The owner, the director of football and the manager between them should be able to work out a strategy for what we need based on where we are. And if money does come in, then that's a plus point. I don't think money's going to go necessarily out the club in a way other than selling players. But they'll know all those different things, won't they? They'll know what the possibilities are. They'll know right now whether they think Jarrad Branthwaite is going to need to be sold. I imagine they'll know. We don't, obviously, but they'll know what scenarios lead to different things. You'd like to think anyway. You'd like to think, but who actually knows the way this club has been?
Yeah, no, quite. I know. Obviously, we know. It's likely that one of either Onana or Branthwaite will go this season, or will have. It's likely to have to go, not just to balance the books, to be able to get money to bring in players.
Yeah. No, but I mean, Onana's. Let's be honest, Onana's definitely going, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because the manager doesn't even want him anymore. We've seen that in the last few weeks. The manager is cut him out of the team because he's not what he wants. So I don't think there's going to be any issue with him. He's going to be sold, and the manager won't have an issue with that. And it'll suit everyone. It'll suit everyone and that's just the way it is.
And I can't see Michael Keane being around next season.
No, I can't
with
imagine.
With 1 year left on his contract, I'd rather keep Ben Godfrey than keep him.
Yeah, definitely. I think Ben
Godfrey has the ability to play in more than one position, and he's and I feel much more comfortable when he's on the pitch than I do when Keane's on the pitch.
Yeah.
I think he's less prone to making the kind of glaring mistakes that Keane makes.
Well, Ben Godfrey doesn't lack confidence. That's the number one thing. He doesn't lack any confidence. He always fancies himself. In the derby, he fancied. You see me, Ben Godfrey, for his shortcomings, which are he's not great in the air, and he's not. Sometimes he can switch off in the moment, but he loves a battle. He absolutely loves a scrap. Saw that in the derby again. He was, and I think it's how you get through to him. I think Carlo got through to him, and I think Sean Dyche has got through to them most of the time. It's like, you've got to be switched on if you want to keep your position. Be switched on. There's a position there at right back. We're talking about players who we're going to have, who we're not going to have. There's a position there at right back that if Ben Godfrey wants it, it's sort of there for him. He's like, all right, he's not going to be the right back we want, but it is there. So why not?
Yeah. Who else is obviously Decore's got 1 year left, hasn't he?
Yeah.
What would you do with Decore? Would you keep him? And the problem is, if we keep him and we don't extend the contract, he'll leave for free. Or do you wait to see if a bit of money comes in from him, most likely from Saudi Arabia these days, given his
Well, I wouldn't bank on Saudi Arabia because
no.
I'm just saying I wouldn't
most likely.
I wouldn't bank on Saudi Arabia for I'd be very interested just to see how that works out this summer in terms of what they did last summer compared to what they do this summer, because I'm not sure that whole thing has paid off in the same way. So we'll have to see. But I think it's like anything, isn't it? Players want to be in the Premier League, and where does the Corey go from Everton? He goes down. He goes downwards if he leaves, or he goes to Saudi Arabia. So, who knows? Again, earn your contract. If you want a contract, earn it. Like any player, earn your contract. Simple as that. So,
because obviously we know the likes of Gomez will leave.
Yeah.
Because his contract is too much. He's not really worth the money we pay him. You know, he's too. I've always thought, even when he was on loan, he's too slow for the league.
Yeah.
Not just pace wise, but the way he thinks about the game.
Yeah.
Is one step too slow. You know, no doubt he's got talent, but I don't know that the Premier League is the right league for him pace-wise.
No.
And physicality-wise.
Ever since the injury, he's been nowhere near that level.
No, he hasn't.
So, yeah, it's one of those things. He looked such a good talent when we had him on loan, and it just hasn't fulfilled itself. And unfortunately, we give him a big, massive, long contract. So,
like we've done with too many people.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
what do you guys think will happen with Seamus?
Well, I think if we don't hear anything tomorrow, then it might just be business as normal. Maybe.
Been hinted at though.
I think he'll probably retire, but I would have thought we would find out tomorrow. But I don't.
Maybe we will.
Yeah, maybe we will. So.
I mean, I think as much as I love Seamus and how well he served the club, I think it's time.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I think it's probably been time for the. You know, there's possibly been times that I've thought that over the last 2 years, because his legs have, the little bit of pace he had, which wasn't much in the first place, has gone.
No, I think the main thing.
He's taking longer to, as you do when you get older, to recover from injuries.
I think that's the big thing, is that he's not recovering as quick, and he's not getting back on the pitch either as quick. He's recovering, but then it's taking him more time to get up to the pace of the Premier League, and you simply can't have that. And I think he's such a proud man, and he's such a big Evertonian, that to him it's almost like he can't. There's no one to pass the baton to, which it'd be so much easier, wouldn't it, if Patterson was playing every week and it was like, well, that's it, because there's nobody in that right back position. He might feel like he needs it, but I imagine as a professional, he'll know exactly when it's time to be done. And maybe he'll think with Sean Dyche at the helm, he might think this is a good time. Everton are in a decent place. But I hope if he is retiring, that he does tell us before Saturday, so he can get the farewell that he deserves.
Yeah, no, I do too, because he deserves, for everything that he's given us, he deserves a good send off. After he's been with us 15 years, hasn't he? So
he's been a brilliant servant. So
would you play him Saturday?
Yeah, I would play him Saturday. It means absolutely nothing. Take him off for 5 minutes. Yeah, I would. Abby, thanks for the call as ever.
Nice one.
Thanks,
okay,
Ab.
See
ya.
Cheers, Ab. Ta-da. Let me read this out from
Ian.
Wherever it's gone. There's been loads now. Where are we? Where are you? Ian, where have you gone? Just bear with, because I had Ian's comments and then it's disappeared. Like there it is. Says, hi guys, I'm a Darlington fan. We do a booster budget scheme for the running of the club. All donations would be welcome. All details are on the Darlington website. Thank you so much. Fans have raised over 70,000 since last Monday. Our target is 175 by the end of the month. All that money goes to next season's budget for the running of the club.
Can we have one for Everton?
I know, yeah. Set it up to keep us going. Definitely need it, don't we? Darkheart says Seamus has said he'd never play for another club.
No, and I wouldn't expect him to. It's just I think yesterday someone hinted at that he would leave but not retire, which would only mean that probably would go back to Ireland, I would imagine. But I don't know whether he will. I don't know. His kids are like below 10, aren't they? I think he's got 3 kids and they're all below 10. And do you want to uproot them at this? I don't know. Can't speak for the man, can I? But well, maybe they're young enough that you can uproot them. But then he's been doing his coaching badges and stuff, which means, I mean, I could generally see a situation where Seamus Coleman retires and goes straight to being the Ireland manager. I really could, because they need that sort of. They need that someone that people have we've seen it in other countries, haven't we? I don't know how advanced he is with his coaching badges, by the way. Yeah. No, but we've seen this with other countries, haven't we?
I think that the other countries though have got a structure in place. Not sure Ireland haven't. I mean,
Ireland just don't have a structure.
Gareth Farley's been very critical of them.
Oh yeah.
About nothing. Roy Keane has said the
but
same. He's
got a level of professionalism that I think would do wonders.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe he'd go in there with John O'Shea, because John O'Shea has worked with one of the greatest managers of all time and understands the standards. Doesn't mean, just because he's John O'Shea doesn't mean he's not a good coach, you know. So I don't know.
Get something at Everton. Who knows?
Who's John O'Shea? That'd be weird. That'd be weird.
John O'Shea coming in. Maybe John O'Shea will be the United manager. Everyone else has been linked with it. People you don't expect. So why not? Maybe Seamus Coleman will be the United manager. That'd be a turn-up, wouldn't it?
David Moyes is his assistant.
Moyes. What would Moyes do?
They finally done it. They finally got the 3 of them there.
Coleman.
Fellaini is the fitness coach.
Why not?
Finally got the banter gas together.
The dream.
Tim Howard, goalkeeping coach.
The United.
Telling everyone to come play games in America. Incredible stuff.
Manchester United. 2013 dream. Kevin Maloney says, could Garner be the first choice right back next season?
No. People keep on pushing this narrative for James Garner to play mid, but he's going to play midfield. Have you seen our squad? He's going to play. I don't. To be honest, I mean, against Liverpool, he was brilliant, and against Brentford, I thought he had one of his most controlled performances he's had for Everton. Against Luton, he picked up the booking, and that just basically took him out of the game. I think when Onana doesn't play, he gets to play in his own position, but when Onana plays, he doesn't, and that's the problem. So we might see him start to go forward with him in his true position, which is the number 6 position. And when Onana's not playing there, I think he can fill that role. But when they both play in the same role, and Onana dominates it, and it makes us too defensive. But I think the last 2 games, certainly in the derby, he had a really good game. And at Brentford, I thought, as I said, it was one of his most complete performances. But I could say anything about those 2 games, and you wouldn't know. Very much like Dominic Calvert-Lewin's greatest ever performance.
No, well, I didn't watch that back, but I have watched Liverpool. Yeah, he was decent. Yeah.
No, you did. Well, you've got to be decent, haven't you?
To compete with them, yeah. Sarah says, Hola, welcome back, Baz. Regarding the potential Qatar link, I'd be worried about the involvement they have with funding Hamas. Could we possibly end up in the same mess if sanctions are brought against them?
No.
Might very well be overthinking it, but can't.
I think you're overthinking it.
I don't even think. Is there any Qatar links other than people wish to think? That's what I mean. They're still getting Tim. It's only from. I think it's real. I
think it's from that Deloitte thing, isn't it? And also, I'm not 100% sure these Qatar links are state Qatar links. I think they're more about people who actually live there.
Dick L's in the comments.
Oh yeah,
it's not Tuesday.
No.
He says, I watched some of the Luton game, but to be honest, it was so awful. I turned it off and went to bed. How we made Luton look half decent is beyond me. I know Dyche has got enough results to keep us safe, and I understand he's done a decent job, but for me, he has to go. If Moyes is available, then go and get him. Moyes will get us results, needs to keep us up, but Moyes will also start laying down foundations, developing players. We need to start from scratch, and for me, Moyes is a better option for that job. Thanks, Sean, but it's time to build. Next season under Dyche looks very similar to this season under Dyche. Some people may see that as a good thing, but personally, I've had enough. Dyche is a safe option. he'll most likely get enough results to keep us up, but I can't handle another 4-month winless streak, and I can't suffer another season of Dyche football. It's stick or twist this time, lads, and I think Everton need to be bold, and for me, Moyes is a manager who can get results and begin to build the club from the bottom up. Fair enough, Dick, if you don't want him. I don't know who would make that decision, Dick, anyway, to be honest with you. No one, Dick.
AI.
The ownership is the biggest, most pressing thing that Everton needs sorting right now, mate. And until that, everything else is... It's one of them. Mark Cagg says bring Moyes back home.
Scottish. It's not it's not going to happen. We've discussed it many. We were talking about this before on in our dinner time show on Premier, and we were saying like, we've had our say on this like loads of times. But if you didn't support Everton and you were looking in at the situation at Everton, and you saw a bunch of fans complaining about Sean Dyche, you would think we were mad. You would. I know we're in here and we have to live through it, but we're looking at the West Ham situation going, they're mad. But he won them a trophy, and yet a West Ham fan could roll off all the reasons why. And I bet you there'll be fans of other clubs, and I've heard people in the media saying how good a job Dyche has done. People out there will go, you'd be mad to get rid of him. Absolutely mad. No, I'm not. I've said before that I think Moyes is a better manager, but I'm also sitting here with a touch of realism now going, there is nobody at the club who can sack him, like literally nobody. The ownership is not going to get sorted. So, and you need that level, don't you, before you go into it. You can't just go, let's sack him and then go, well, what do we do now? I don't know. There has to be a plan in place, and the plan is let Sean Dyche get on with it. Simply. So I do think a lot of people on the outside be going, you should be mad. You should be absolutely mad. Because I just don't think next season is like a building year. It's a consolidation year for me next season. Really. I don't know, you think any different, Baz?
I think you've always got to be building, personally, but again, I can't see anything until the ownership, so to be honest. I can't look at anything. Because we're in that predicament at the moment where we've got to get the club sorted. You can't build when you don't know who's leading. We're just surviving. I mean, all we've done this season is floated along with no direction, no leadership. So get that sorted this summer, and then you can start building it.
By the way, 7:15, there's going to be an interview with Julia Bold, the press box over on Toffee TV Premier. But she's just been speaking to someone on her show, a journalist from Belgium, who has all the lowdown on what's been going on with Standard Liège. And she's already told me it's an absolutely brilliant interview. It went out about 10 minutes ago, but you'll be able to catch it again on she's going to put the links on her social media and we'll retweet them. She said it's a very, very eye-opening interview into the situation with Standard Liège. So yeah, make sure you catch that. You catch that on. She'll have the links, and we'll put the links up. But she'll be on. It'll be on Toffee TV Premier 7:15. Baz sat down with her earlier to discuss 777 situation and the Sean Dyche situation and the Blossoms video, clearly. And Baz's favourite rides.
Peter McCall says Nathan Patterson should do the Coleman route, put him right midfield with Young or Coleman behind like Phil Neville did. Saves us buying Harrison. Gilly the Lemon says, I've really enjoyed all the content from Baz, Ped, Ned and John all season. You really bring the energy when it's been an energy training season. Thank you very much.
That's because we have a tremendous coffee machine.
Glad I was involved in that.
Yeah.
Glenn says, if you think the Premier League is corrupt, press the like button.
Absolutely. Fair play to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where are we? Here, Kevin Maloney says after we batter Sheffield 8-0, we should play New York music to try and get the Yankees owner to buy the club.
Surely there's like people out there that have got so much money, like that it does not matter that they buy Everton. Like they're going couch, telly, yacht, Everton, bag of crisp. Do you know what I mean? Like nothing matters. And they just go, lads, go and win something.
Let's have that.
Park their yacht up next to the ground. You know. Like
it does need...
Like we all dreamt Alice would. You just know what's mad, right? Genuinely. You look at the Premier League and you look at like the owners and you look at what it's supposed to be. Like creating like this NFL type situation where every team has like a unbelievable owner and you're really competing at the top end and you've got owners who are deep pockets and you have amazing stadiums and all these kind of things, and then you look like even like the Bournemouth owner, do you know what I mean? And then you look at Everton and you're just like, what's going on there? Like I know we had a billionaire owner and we had the first one out of every other, City and Chelsea, but you would think that football people would be like, we need to buy a Premier League club if we want to be in the club. If we want to get like, Everton are literally sitting there now don't get me wrong, they were sitting there and with Goodison Park and you were like, if you want to buy this club, because that was what we said for years, didn't we? No one will buy us because of the stadium, because you're going to have to invest £500 million to build a new stadium. You're going to have to get the land, you're going to have to go all it's there. We've got a stadium on the waterfront that is going to be amazing. It's all waiting for you it's all sitting there, and all you've got to do is come down in your big yacht and just go, lads, that days, in the top pocket. Off
Job
you go.
done.
Off
Fill the
you go.
briefcase.
It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy, and that's what makes you think that maybe these people are just like don't want to buy off them because it does get you involved in. I don't know. Don't want to go into it, but it's like don't really want to be giving those people money because then people might say, "Oh, you shouldn't be giving those people money."
Well, that's what Darren says. I reckon we can't get investment because of Usmanov. They would that indirectly be funding a Russian. Well, he's a what is he? Turkmenistan or something.
Turkmenistan,
Uzbekistan, isn't he? But I don't know. I wouldn't have a clue.
But you're not though, are you? Because on paper you're buying Farhad Mashiri, who's a British Iranian. So you're buying his shares. You're not buying. Really, no matter what anyone says about Usmanov, there are no links to him. The only links. Said this from day one, the fella would never invest in Everton because it would stop that outside investment that we saw from USM. And that's what's happened. So there's no ties to him. If there's ties, then they'd be all over the place. Everyone would know. Everyone has mentioned it and talked about it. I mean, for God's sake, we wish there'd been ties because then they would have had to do what they've done with Abramovich.
Yeah, take it off.
Take it off him and go, we need to give this to someone else. Crazy times.
There's nothing you can do, is that we've got to hope that somebody is there, someone's waiting, or someone has become interested because they see that this looks like it's not going to happen, or they do want a Premier League club, or they're looking now at the stadium and going, it's nearly done now, and all of that kind of stuff, because an easy way to get rid of any of that is buy it, and then them links are gone, aren't they? When you own it, and that clears the deck. So there's enough money around, there's enough people with billions.
Leeds have just got investment from Will Ferrell. No, but that's the point, isn't it? They're a championship club with an aging ground. Like even their big stand that they built in the 90s is now old.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like Dark Arts, you're right. Usmanov definitely was in the film 2012. He definitely was in that film. That is definitely him. it's like this is what is mad about the whole situation, is that it does feel like everything is there for us, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It's fallen very similar to before Mashiri coming in.
Yeah.
When we were looking, going, we're the club that a billionaire can take, and it'll pop, because everything's in position for it, and it's not happened. It's never happened. You know, we got it, and it didn't work out. But at a time when other clubs were being bought, and there was interest, you know, Manchester United had a few who were interested. Chelsea had 4, I think.
Yeah.
I know they're two very different brands and two teams that are near the top. But that money's there.
Make it a brand then.
If the money that those people, you know, that Sheikh, whatever his name was, Sheikh Yassin, if he had the money he was going to invest in United, he'd only need a third of that to have Everton clear of debt and going the right way. And you can't spend 500 million in transfer windows anyway anymore. So what it is putting structure in place.
Exactly. What is there to do at Everton? Well, you've got a stadium that you're moving into in just over 12 months' time.
Yeah.
So that's your first hurdle. You've got the training ground. That's all top notch. Yeah. If you want to add to that, you can add to that. You've got a headquarters in the city centre. Got that kind of thing going for you. The squad needs investment, but a natural investment. It's natural. You can just add to it. Like it doesn't. You're not going from 0 to 60. You're just edging your way. And if you have to edge your way to the European places first. And you're right. Structure, getting the club to a position where we spoke about this earlier. There's so many things at Everton. Some things like going in the club shop and there being no stuff. It's like we've got a worldwide fan base that you are not tapping into. You are all right. It's not as big as others, but you are not tapping into that worldwide. You know, the supporters club recently in America organised their own, coming together. You know, their own thing where they all went to Chicago but imagine the club did that and took some of the sponsors with them and benefited off the back of it. Or when the Premier League do their one in America, try and get all our fans together, because there's stuff there that will benefit the football club and there's so much you could do. It's incredible, you know. It is incredible. There's already that base out there to work with, and you're not even getting the most out of them at the moment. And that's the first thing.
GBRC EFC 125 says Ryan Reynolds bought Wrexham FC, for God's sake.
But he's not a billionaire, and he couldn't.
No, but it's levels though, isn't it? That just shows you Wrexham. Well, but look what he's done. Joe makes an interesting point. So Sheffield United are the first confirmed team who will play their last ever league game at Goodison Park this Saturday.
That is an interesting point. You've made that interesting
good point. That's Joe. Good point.
Goodbye, Sheffield United.
It's there though, isn't it? It's there. It seems like it's
so frustrating.
Ready to pop. We and John done this a while ago. People are talking about, you know, what investors gonna invest this amount of money, but you're coming into a club. You obviously need deep pockets, but people who buy football clubs generally have deep pockets. So Farhad Mashiri's done a deal with 777 where he writes it turns the money he's lent Everton into equity. So therefore, say it's 400 million, that goes.
Yeah.
Now, okay, it would have benefited Everton that 777 took over, because that money would have gone to equity, so it would have gone, but it hasn't. So when an investor comes in now, they owe MSP 150 million, they owe rights and media at 150 million at 280, and they owe 777 200 million. So say they have to spend 500 million. But they're getting $750 million, although someone said it's now valued at £1 billion, or when it opens, it'll be £1 billion stadium. So they've got an asset worth more than what they've paid. Then you've got a football club. And then if they invested 500 million over the next 5-6 years, and I don't know whether they'd be able to do that actually into the team and stuff, but if they did, they'd have all that for about 1.3 billion, have a Premier League football club. And if you put the structure in, and that investment goes in, it should start to self-fund anyway. And then you get people in and go, it's that we'll get a player and in 2 years we'll sell him and reinvest because that's the model you're in. Then the football club can pop. So if you look at it, it's a relatively modest investment now. To us, it's huge.
It's complicated, but I get.
But get in and pay the debtors off. Get rid of them. People have got this money.
I don't think 777 have ever seen that money again. I really don't.
No, Posh Matty and you're missing the point. I'm saying Ryan Reynolds bought Wrexham, so the level down is he's not a hugely. Of course, he's wealthier than we'll ever be.
No, he's created a brand,
but he's created the brand, and he's bought it on a lower level. Yeah. So if you imagine fellas, businesses, consortiums who are multi-billionaires buying Everton, then comparative to where he is compared to them, to where Everton are compared to Wrexham, you still got to go in and put structure. If you watch the Wrexham doc, they went in and started putting the structure in place and building it, and it's took on a life of its own. They're in League One next season. Okay, they at some stage soon they will hit a wall because all the costings go up.
It'll probably be this year,
and it might be this year, right? But they were in the National League and they're in League One. So if you just sort of scale that down or scale it up rather for Everton, this is why if MSP would have got it, or if 777 would have got it, they would have come in and restructured the debt and put things in place. They wouldn't. They've done it at Genoa, and okay, they're having issues everywhere else. But I'm saying another company, another consortium, another businessman could come in and kind of do that thing, get it restructured, the debt, get it run right, put some investments in, get the right people in, and create a model where it is about buying players and building them up and selling, reinvesting, similar to the way Brentford and Brighton have done it in terms of sustainability. With our fan base, with a new stadium, the club can survive and start getting into Europe, or certainly fighting for Europe and all of that kind of stuff. There's those people must be around. MSP might do it with another investor, who knows, but whatever it is, Everton need this to come to a conclusion right now, don't they?
Yeah, I said you've got to make the most of what you've got already, and I don't think the people who have run our club for the last 25 years have made the most out of our football club, because they don't know how to sell it. They don't know how to sell it. Every opportunity they've had to sell the football club in terms of to its own fans, they've missed. You know, whether that's going to America, whether that's going to other countries, whatever it is, they've always failed. When they had Tim Howard, when they had Landon Donovan, when they had Tim Cahill, they've always failed to sell these things back to the country where they come from. And you know, sticking on like the something there with Wrexham. Wrexham are absolutely amazing at doing that. They've took this brand and said to everybody, well, it's not a brand, but they've made it a brand and said to everyone, these can be your second club, you know, essentially. And not saying we can't do that the same way, but you're just saying to people, look at this thing that we've got. We don't even do that to our own fans. We're terrified of like selling our own brand to our own fans. It's pathetic. We do everything on like the quiet. Everything's like, oh, is this thing? We brought this thing up, but we can't tell you because we don't want to upset anyone. It's the club is just so I've said it for years. It's so scared of its own fan base and upsetting certain elements of it, but then at the same time rubbing the nose of other elements in it. It hasn't got a clue. There's a culture change. There needs to be a culture change, because the people at the club are very much still Ken Wright people, and they're terrified. They're terrified to work off their own backs, and it's so uninspiring.
But at the moment, they probably haven't got.
No, at the moment they've got anything, have they? So but that's what I'm saying. It's so uninspiring to see a football club go like this, where you've got other football clubs. They've got so many more irons in the fires, but they created those situations themselves. You can go, oh yeah, but they're like a Champions League club, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, but they've created that situation. They've stuck their chest out and gone, we're going to do this, so we're going to go on a big tour of America. And you know, if you've got the fans, or you create the fan base yourself by going or buying certain players, it's just, we're such an uninspiring football club, and that's why we are where we are. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy in many ways. oh, you don't want to rock the boat. And if you don't want to rock the boat, you won't. And then when other people are, you'll become a club that people go, what's the point in that football club? Sadly.
Posh Mathew says even Brian McBride, we should be massive. Massive in the USA. But we've missed loads, haven't we? We've had loads.
But Carlos just said there, we had James Rodriguez. And we didn't even do the basic things with him. We're doing the basic things. I've given them the number 10 shirt.
Number 19.
The number 10 shirt that he is famously known for wearing. We didn't just go, sorry, fella. No, giving it to this fella who's recognised all around the world. He's got like 10 billion followers all on it. This fella, number 10 shirt, and then we're just going to like sell t-shirts or give t-shirts away. Remember when we were opening a place in Miami and we're going to like take over?
Yeah.
Nonsense. Built on sand.
Because they didn't know. Didn't know how to.
Yeah, built on sand. Built on sand. Times Square, great. Yeah, once. Once. There was an advert for the Responder in Times Square last week. Doesn't mean it's going to get all kinds of Emmys and things.
Because people know.
It's just
part of the marketing.
Part of the marketing for us. Oh, look what we did over there. It was more for us. It wasn't for them. It was for us. Look what we did. Look what we did in Bogota. Great. What are you going to do next? Don't know. And that's always been the problem with this club. Big shiny things from the start. What are you going to do next? How are you going to back it up? They never can, because they don't have people who work there who are allowed to be inspired enough to go out and make things happen. And then you do have those people at your football club. It tracks. Seen when we had James Rodriguez. Those are people attract column inches.
Of course they do.
And column inches, what comes? Attention.
And Landon Donovan. Yeah,
it's attention. And going back to Wrexham, that's what they've got, attention. Because two famous people own them.
Attention is the currency. No,
of course it is. PR is the currency.
It's about, and that's what we need to change. Monkey 55500 says yes, new stadium. We're in the Prem next season again, and Everton are one of England's top 6 clubs. If you're talking about big clubs, not saying richest, but a proper club. Future could be great. It could be. Just need someone to get hold of it, mate, and point it in the right direction, because it's been going nowhere for years. And GBRC says, my fear is people have come in and looked at Everton, seen the money mess, turned right back round and gone out the door. Don't get me wrong, not saying that is the case, it's just a fear. Yeah, but if you've... I'm not saying that isn't the case, by the way. What I'm saying is, if you've got the money, then if I walk in to buy something and that thing owes 3 people the money, if you've got the money, you pay those 3 people off and they're gone.
First thing we Sherry did was pay. It was 80 million. Yeah, paid it off straight away, didn't it?
So it's what you have to do.
But you don't have to. But you don't have to.
But you don't, because you can. You don't, because you can
restructure the debt.
Because for them, getting something's better than getting nothing, as well. So
these people lend money not to necessarily get the money back straight away. The problem is the people we've borrowed the money off, and because we're in such a bad place, it's all high interest rates. But Tottenham built their ground. It's not paid. It won't be paid for 30 odd years.
$1.4 billion in debt.
Yeah, it won't be paid for years. But people go into debt. That's not an issue. We're all in debt with our mortgages.
Oh, sure.
It's the problem is that we have gone into high interest debts. But you can restructure that, because people want to be paid and they don't mind being paid. You've got to be paid. Yeah. You got to be paid over a number of years. Then maybe you're not going to be paid.
These the guarantee of getting paid.
These people will be like the idea of administration is going to scare those people more than it's actually going to scare some people at Everton Football Club.
Definitely. Darren said we had Ritchie, Brazil's number 9 as well.
Yeah. We don't know what to do with these people, because we haven't got the right people at our football club. These people are not allowed.
That's the problem.
To make the decisions. Look online. Look at like independent Everton people making stuff. I've seen stuff already from the Merseyside derby from loads of different people. Mugs, t-shirts, all kinds. Any kind of new chant gets turned around. What are our football club doing? Nothing. They don't do anything. They could have had stuff out straight away. Limited edition run of Everton, Dominic Calvert-Lewin t-shirts, whatever. They don't. They're stuck. They has to go through a meeting and another meeting and another meeting. Then has to go to Fanatics. Fanatics look at it and go, and the moment's already passed. And yet we sat in a room where we were told by people that stuff could be if something happened on a Saturday, it could be out by Monday. All you need to design and we'll slap it on a t-shirt and sell it one by one. Never happened. Because who's pushing these people?
That's just a snapshot.
Who's pushing these people? to make those decisions. It doesn't happen. You know what? We're at the situation now where people are getting excited about new kits. We know we're getting a new kit maker. When are we going to find out? It's club scared to tell us because they know everyone thinks that the people who are making it are crap. Are these, you know, or should they be sticking the chest out going, no, next season we're going to a new kit maker and actually we're getting more money and it is going to be better. Oh, we've seen the designs, they're amazing. Oh, you're going to love it. Like, why aren't we doing that? Why isn't there someone? Where's the leadership to say that?
There isn't any leader.
That's what I'm saying. Where's the leadership to, well, don't worry, our kits are going to be amazing. Come on, Hummel at the moment, sadly, we're leaving. They have got clever people who will say clever things. You know, the little wink and all that, tip of the cap. Everton, come on. We all know you're leaving Hummel. So announce where you're going and tell us it's the biggest deal. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Tell us the kit's going to be brilliant. Don't have to show us it yet. Can't come out till July. Get people excited. But no, you drag your feet. And then before you know it, people are saying to you, where's the kit? Liverpool have got their kits out. In fact, Liverpool have got their... They haven't, but Liverpool will have their away kits out. Why is my son having to go to footy training in an old kit? We have this conversation every year. Why is my kid going to footy in a kit that everyone knows is done? Those lads are wearing Liverpool's new kit. Every year this happens. Why aren't you saying it's going to be out July the 1st? Because that's when it's coming out. Because the Hummel contract finishes the end of June. 1st of July it'll come out. So why aren't you telling everyone now? Get excited. This kit's going to be amazing. No. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Fazza says we've got England's number one right now as well, and that isn't put about as much as it should be. Carla says the merch on Everton website is boring. Been meaning to buy stuff from your website for a while. Thank you, Carla.
Get on there and buy some.
Sean says we haven't even got a chairman.
To be fair, did we ever have one?
We need a whole new board, but we need the ownership sorted so that structure can be put in place, and hopefully what's gone on now and the pressure that has been put on by the FAB and by Everton Shareholders Association, hopefully that can force Mashiri to do something. But I don't know. I'm hopeful.
P. Mac has just said there, t-shirts, you lost the league at Goodison Park, sell like hotcakes. Well, let me just tell you
I don't think Everton could.
Let me tell you, well, they again, afraid. Why are you afraid? Why not do it though? What are you afraid of to do that? But I know for a fact that Everton, a few years back, when they did do t-shirts quite regularly, because I designed some actually that come out in the club shop. They had this t-shirt where it was like two Subbuteo players, and one was in a red shirt, and one was in an Everton shirt, and under the Everton one just said local, and under the red shirt just said something like not local or maybe something else, and they were all ready to go, and at the last minute Everton were like, you can't put that out, and it had nothing that it was Liverpool, it was just a red kit, and they were told at the last minute, no, you can't put that out, and they'd actually printed the shirts, and it was like, no, you can't have that. And it's like, well, why? Who are you honestly offending? You're selling these to Evertonians. Who cares? Who are you scared of upsetting? They did lose the league at Goodison Park, so why not put it on the t-shirt? You'd sell loads of them. Who are you upsetting? What difference does it make? If they don't, we will.
Leo said Castori made the Leverkusen kits this season. Decent.
I know, but it's whether they felt a bit sore or not, isn't it? I don't think anyone's actually bothered about the design. I don't think there's a problem with the designs. It's the quality control that's the problem. The designs are fine.
Surely they've addressed that though, because there was so much bad.
Maybe they have. I don't, but you won't know that, will you? Because
no, I'm just saying because there was loads.
They've expanded as a company so quickly. That quality control, and this is not just me, by the way. I'm listening. I've got a fella lined up. Me and Ned were talking about him last week. I've got a fella lined up to come on the show who's designed kits won by World Cup winners. And if you go on his channel, he's talked about why Castori's kits are terrible. And he's a Villa fan, so he knows. And he's come out and said why they're bad. And it does come down to quality control, most of it. Yeah. It's because stuff comes out too quickly and they're not. They haven't got the bandwidth. So when it's all sorted, we're going to get him on the channel.
Well, hopefully Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully it's sorted. But at the end of the day, Everton are sign up with them because they're offering more money.
Of course.
And that's it.
That's where we are.
That's where we are. That's why we've got steak on the front of our shirts. And we'll have kick probably soon, I imagine. When
they pay the big money, then that's what you do, don't you? That's what you're after. There
you go.
Right.
We're done.
Thank you very much, everyone who phoned in. Thank you very much, everyone who has commented. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye. Bye.